back again with another video. This is DanielRock08, and I finally am going to do 2001 year in review, because 2000, especially my WCW reviews, were so good and were so loud and unfiltered, uncensored, and just playing off great. I finally get to do 2001. So, we start off 2001 with the final ECW televised show. And I say final ECW televised show because, technically speaking, there was a house show that they did a week later somewhere in Arkansas that Paul Heyman wasn't even at. But this is ECW Guilty as Charged 2001, the final ECW televised show, the final ECW pay-per-view. So, how was the ECW final show goes down? Well, to be honest, it's a very mixed bag of a show. Live from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, Guilty as Charged starts up with Joey Matthews and Christian York getting their asses whipped by the Baldies. As the Baldies come out, they beat the shit out of York and Matthews. They beat the shit out of them. And then out comes Jerry Lynn and Cyrus. Yes, Cyrus, the virus. And he comes out and he gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. It's a squash match just for Cyrus to get the victory. And can't really rate it in A. So now we get to the introduction, you know, the famous ECW introduction. Bam, bam, dun, dun, down. Bow down, the bun, dum, bum. Bow down, bun, dum, bum. So, we get the ECW World Tag Team title match on the line here. We have Danny Doring and Roadkill they are the tag team champions, defeating Hot Commodity, which was Easy Money and some other guy, I forgot his name. This is just a typical run-of-the-mill tag team match, and really nothing special about it, nothing memorable. And hey, it's nice seeing Roadkill. He was pretty sweet. Give it a 4 out of 10. After the match, out came Nova, and he beat the crap out of the manager, who then faces him in this next match. We get Nova defeating Hamrick in a forgettable match. Pretty botchy. Hamrick is this guy. He has this Confederate gear on. He looks like a redneck, but he does a lot of springboard maneuvers. Very weird type of wrestler, I guess. I don't know. 3.5, nothing to talk about. But there is something to talk about in this next match. This next match is Tommy Dreamer defeating C.W. Anderson in an I Quit match. C.W. Anderson is facing Tommy Dreamer, of all people. How the hell did Tommy Dreamer get his last ECW televised match against C.W. Anderson, the most fucking basic wrestler of all time? I don't even know how to describe that. It's like if, I don't know how to say it. It's just very weird. In an I Quit match. This was a good I Quit match. There's been far better out there. C.W. Anderson sucked, and he always will suck. He sucks then, and he always will suck. He's just a fucking ripoff. All he ever wanted to be. Just dumb. Dumb. The thing they did with the razor wire shots was cool. The ending was cool. Tommy Dreamer channels his inner John Cena before there was an inner Super Cena, as he does a middle rope Dreamer driver through a table, and then use the table cord, or the table frame, rather, wrapped it around, did like a crossface on him, and made him say I quit. So Tommy Dreamer beats the jobber Anderson wannabe bitch in a good match, 6.5 out of 10. Next up, we have a three-way dance for a #1 contendership for the ECW World Tag Team titles, which is hilarious because the winners are #1 contenders and they never do get their title match. So the winners, which is Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck, they are still owed an ECW World Tag Team title match from Danny Dorian and Roadkill, by the way. So this match is Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck, and they defeated the FBI and Super Crazy and Kid Cash in a very fun, very entertaining three-way dance tag team match. Very fun, very good. Tajiri's awesome. Super Crazy was great. Kid Cash is awesome. And FBI is pretty funny. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Next up, we have Swinger, Simon Diamond, Chili Willy, and Balls Mahoney going to a no contest when Rhino interferes and gores everyone in sight. So Rhino gores everyone. He gores everyone, including women, including Dawn Marie. He gores everybody, and then there's this woman. I forgot her name. She takes, and this woman, I mean, what a pro. I don't know why the hell she agreed to take this spot, but man, she had to have a vagina of steel, man. The lady balls on this woman. And the thing that she probably didn't even get paid for this because Paul Heyman's a broke piece of shit Jew guy. But, so this woman takes a middle rope pile driver from Rhino. A middle rope pile driver. Badge of steel. And probably didn't even get paid for it. Can't rate it. Next up, we have, quite frankly, the worst and probably the funniest ladder match I've ever seen ever. For the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, it's the Sandman taking on Steve Corino, the ECW champion, and Just Incredible in an incredibly botched ladder match of epic proportions. This match is Botchamania in description. Okay, Botchamania was created, I'm sure, because of this match. This match is botchy as hell. And it's the Sandman. He is everywhere, and he screws up every spot. Every time. There's one point where he climbs the ladder. He's climbing the ladder. And I think it was Steve Corino. He's doing, or maybe it was Just Incredible, but somebody was doing, was about to do a missile drop kick from the top rope. But before he could leap and do the missile drop kick, here's the Sandman climbing up the ladder. He reaches for the belt, and then his drunk ass falls over with the ladder. And the ladder tips over because of his drunk ass 1,000 times. He tips and topbles his way and becomes the ECW World Heavyweight Champion, if only for about 4 minutes, when all of a sudden out comes Rhino, who then slips and falls, then gores the Sandman in a hilarious fashion, gores him again, pile drives him on the outside through a table, then gets a 3 count, but Sandman kicks out on 3, so the ref calls it off. And then another pile driver, and he's the new ECW champion. So Rhino goes down as the final ECW champion. Now this is two separate matches, but the ladder match is incredibly botchy. Sandman's all over the place here. The few amount of time that Credible and Corino get to wrestle each other is fine, But again, they only can wrestle each other for like 30 seconds until Sandman no-sells a spot and immediately gets back in the ring. This is quite possibly the worst ladder match I've ever seen. A 1 out of 10, and it's a ladder match. And ladder matches are at least guaranteed a 6. Keep that in mind. It is probably the worst ladder match in a major wrestling promotion history. So Rhino then defeats the Sandman. Out comes Rob Van Dam, the only man, by the way, who gets an actual entrance. That's another thing about this show that's weird. Maybe it was just cut from the network that all the entrances gets cut, but no one has an entrance except Rob Van Dam. I guess he is the whole effing show for a reason. So Rob Van Dam comes out. They lay down the title. Out comes Jerry Lynn. And then we get Rob Van Dam defeating Jerry Lynn in an insanely good match. And thank God for this match, because this show sucked up until this match. This match is awesome. It's not as great as Living Dangerously 99 match or even Hardcore Heaven 99 match, but this is almost as good. The Van Terminator at the end's awesome. It's just a very fun, entertaining match. And you know, you don't have you have a drunk Sandman, an even drunker Sandman. You don't have Sabu, you don't have Taz, you don't have the Dudley Boys, you know, so you don't have these guys. You don't have your Monster Mike Awesome, so you don't have these main guys. So what's the one last guy you have? You have Rob Van Dam. You have Jerry Lynn. They're known to have an awesome match. They're known to have awesome matches with each other. So if ECW's last televised show is going to go out, it has to go out with Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn in an awesome match. An 8.5 out of 10. Great match. Overall, ECW's Guilty as Charged, the final ECW TV show, the final ECW televised event, is honestly a mediocre mixed bag of a show. The main event's awesome. The I Quit match is good, even though it's CW fucking Anderson. And the three-way dance is pretty damn good too. But the ladder match is atrocious. And it's hilarious at the same point. Do I recommend this show? Well, sure, for historical values. This is the final televised show after all. So there you go. ECW's Guilty as Charged 2001. I give a 5 out of 10. A mixed bag of a show. It closes the door with Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn having another phenomenal match like they always did. And it's a shame that ECW had to die. It did. It had to die. You know, in 2001 is a gigantic year. And for me to talk about things like ECW's death and WCW's death and the invasion is going to have to take a separate video. So I will discuss my opinion on the death of ECW, the death of WCW, and the death of the whole invasion angle in their own separate angles, completely separate, their own separate videos, and they're all separated from the reviews. So until next time, I'm Dan Rock08, and I'll catch you next time for WCW Sin. Not sold out, because we have to be edgy and name a pay-per-view called Sin with the most crucifying, most horrifying injury I've ever seen. And then we have the 2001 WWF Royal Rumble. So I'll catch you next time. And I'm Dan Rock08. See ya.